Bruh. If Little Witch Academia and Seven Deadly Sins can get a game, I feel like some of these other series can too. Cause I mean, we always get Dragon Ball and Naruto games. That's no surprise. That's neither here nor there. But I mean, I just feel like there's a handful of anime series out there that never got a proper game like they deserved, and that they should still get one. Now, what are the odds of that happening? Very slim to none. But hey, it is what it is. That's what we're gonna take a look at here today. So what is good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Nerd Corner. Nerd Corner. I'm Love Sasakura, the kid who never knows best. And in today's video, I'm bringing you the top 5 anime series that I feel like are deserving of a video game. Out of the 5 series I have on this list, I honestly feel like only the #1 spot has a good chance of getting a game in the near future, or in the future at all for that matter. Although I would say second place probably has a decent shot. I wouldn't count on it, I wouldn't hold my breath, but it's a possibility. Third place is highly unlikely, but also has a sliver of a chance, at least a better chance than the first two, or the bottom two rather, for reasons that I'll get into when we reach that part of the list, but we'll talk on that. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. And as much as I love the series at the bottom two, they probably have a better chance of making a snowball in hell than never actually receiving a brand new game in the future, just because they're outdated, they're old, they're not as popular as current stuff, they're not relevant anymore. As much as I love them, as much as I'd love to see them get a game, it's probably not going to happen, so I'm not going to get my hopes up, but I'm going to talk about them anyway and put them on my list because this is my list, and if you have a problem with it, you can run my fade. Now with that said, this list isn't arranged in order from what I want the least to what I want the most, but more so in order of what I think has the smallest chance to what I think has the greatest chance of actually getting a video game. Also keep in mind that this is just my opinion. There are plenty of other series out there that are pretty amazing and probably really cool to see in a video game, but this is just based off what I know, what I love, what I have seen. And if you have your own top 5, 10, 15, 20, 50, 100, whatever the case may be, feel free to leave it in a comment down below, or better yet, you can even make your own video and link it to me on Twitter at LotusAsakura. Link is in the description down below. You guys can follow me as always. Haha, you see how smooth that boy is with the Twitter plug. Anyway, you can make your own list and I'll check it out, because hey, there's plenty of stuff out there that I haven't seen, or maybe there's just something that I overlooked and completely forgot about and I think would be even better than what I already have on this list. But with that said, we're gonna get into my list and we're gonna crack into this top 5. So coming in at number 5, we have Shaman King. Now first off, go ahead, peep the little cover art that I whipped up in Photoshop. Nothing too special, just a little something I did fall out there I'm going to mention in this video. It seemed like a fun idea, so I went ahead and cooked up a little box art for each one of these series. But anyway, check me out. I know a lot of you have probably never watched the Red Shaman King, although you probably should because it's really cool. And it's not as popular as any of the other series that I have on this list. However, I still think it would be dope to see a fighting game for. You got characters like Yo, Hao, Talrand, Horo, Lyzerg, Silva, and just so many other like really dope ass characters with all these cool ass spirit allies. It just has so much potential to make for a really, really cool game. And it's not like Shaman King hasn't gotten a game before. In fact, I think every series on this list has gotten at least a game or two before, although most of them probably never got localized for Northern American audience, but that's neither here nor there. The point remains that the only game that's really relevant that I think is worth mentioning that Shaman King has gotten in the past is Power of Spirit. Now, don't get me wrong, Power of Spirit was a great game for its time. If you ask me, I love it. I still do. I've beaten it probably well over a dozen times, and I loved every minute of it every time that I did play through it. But one of the complaints I always had about Power of Spirit was that it followed the story of Shaman King like very, very loosely. I mean, it starts off pretty loyal to the anime and the manga, but then it introduces this video game original character, and eventually at some point in the story it kind of diverges off into its own story about this original character. And it's not bad. In fact, I quite enjoyed it, but I wouldn't say it's as good and definitely not better than Shaman King's actual plot, and not as interesting, but it served its purpose. But with that said, I feel like with a little bit of polish and a story mode that follows the canon, something like a modernized version of Power of Spirit, a game like that would be pretty successful. And it just, oh man, it would be heat, boy. It would be so heat. Because I mean, the combat in Shaman King Power of Spirit, it's not bad at all. I mean, it's a little stiff, like I said. It needs a little bit of polish. It needs a little bit of more work. But I do think that that game is still fun. I still could go back to it and have fun and enjoy it. But a modern day version of that with like maybe a bigger roster, some more in-depth mechanics, and a story mode that actually follows the canon of the story of the plot of the manga. A boy can only dream. A boy can really only dream, because it's never going to happen. Because Shaman King is, you know what's funny about Shaman King though? Just a quick little side note. Hideyuki Takei, the mangaka behind Shaman King, he was actually offered a chance to get a remake for Shaman King, which is honestly one of the series that I feel like is deserving or in need of a remake, because it doesn't follow. You don't get the full ending of the manga with that. It's one of those series that was completed before the anime was actually finished, so it's got like an anime only ending. And the anime is okay, I like it, but it's not amazing, and I feel like it should get a remake. But Hideyuki Takei was actually offered it, and he turned it down, so that's rather unfortunate. And it's funny because, maybe if he had accepted that offer, one, we'd have gotten like a hellified remake, something like Hunter x Hunter 2011, and on top of that, there would have been a possibility of getting a new Shaman King game, and there would have been so many other possibilities. Man, now I'm sad. Now I'm sad just thinking about what could have been if Hideyuki Takei was just like, yeah, let's go ahead, let's get that reboot, let's get that remake. But it is what it is, man. Besides, you know, the main character in Shaman King, by the way, his name's Yo Asakura, and you obviously know what my name is. You didn't think I was gonna leave this off the list, did you? I mean, come on, man. Anyway, coming in at number 4, we have Yu Yu Hakusho. And I gotta go ahead, cue up Smile Bomb in the background one time for the one time, because it is one of the greatest anime openings of all time. And Yu Yu Hakusho is my second favorite anime of all time. It's one of the GOATs, one of the classics. It's an incredible series. It's legendary, man. And that's why it needs a modern day video game. But it's also not gonna happen because Hakusho's past its prime. And Tagashi's focused on Hunter x Hunter, which may or may not ever end, but hey, that's neither here nor there. It's back on hiatus, but hey, you didn't hear that from me. Anyway, Yu Hakusho, man, it's another one of those series with a slew of amazing characters in its cast. Yusuke, Hiei, Kurama, Kuwabara, you have Genkai, Elder Toguro, Younger Toguro, Sensui. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. You got the Spirit Gun, you got the Dragon of the Darkness Flame, you got the Rose Whip, you got the Spirit Sword, just all these really cool abilities, and I just think a Yu Yu Hakusho fighting game made for the, you know, this generation of consoles on the PS4, Xbox One, PC would just be so sick. And again, Hakusho is one of those series that, you know, it's had games in the past, and I think Dark Tournament, which was one of the ones that was on the PS2, I think that was the one that got localized. I've never played it, so I don't really know. I think people said, you know, that was a decent game, but it's old, it's outdated. We need something fresh, something new, and I just feel like Hakusho is definitely one of those series that would have been so sick to see if we could get it nowadays. It's not gonna happen again. It's too old. It's not as popular as it used to be. Granted, you know, people my age and older, we still really love and respect Hakusho, but it's just it's not up on the big stage anymore. You know, it's not a front runner in Shonen Jump. It's over and done with. It's past its prime. It's past its time. And as much as it hurts my heart to say that, you know, Hakusho has served its purpose. So we're probably never going to see a game for that again. But it does still hold relevance in our hearts, if nothing else, because again, you know, Togashi is focused on Hunter x Hunter, so if either of his two series are going to get a game, it's probably going to be Hunter x Hunter, but hey, it is what it is. Personally, between the two, I prefer Yu Yu Hakusho, but hey, that's just me. It could be nostalgia, it could be some sort of bias because I grew up watching that on Toonami and Adult Swim or whatever, but you know, that is just my personal preference. I just feel like, you know, personally, Hakusho had better fights, and I know that Hunter x Hunter is more focused. It has a stronger story, it has better writing, I can give it that, but I'm a shonen battle junkie, and I just feel like Yusuke is a more badass character than Gon is, and I just feel like the fights were more intense and brutal in Hakusho, and that's the reason why I love it more. From my standpoint, from my point of view, I just feel like Hakusho was a better action anime, but that's just me. But anyway, this isn't turning into a Hakusho versus Hunter x Hunter debate. We're gonna get into the next series on this list, and coming in at number 3, we have Rurouni Kenshin. Now, you may be wondering why I put Rurouni Kenshin higher on this list than Shaman King and Yu Yu Hakusho. Well, for one, Rurouni Kenshin has actually sold more copies of its manga than Hakusho and Shaman King have. It's like the 22nd or 23rd best-selling manga of all time, so, you know, it's pretty popular. Its numbers are pretty high up there, but not only that, the reason why I say this has a better chance and it has a small possibility, even though it's highly unlikely, it has a small possibility, there's a glimmer of hope for Rurouni Kenshin getting a game sometime in the future, distant future, not near future, mind you, is because the Rurouni Kenshin manga is back. And it's not like it's been on hiatus. You know, the Rurouni Kenshin story, it did end. However, Nobuhiro Watsuki is back on the pen. He is back at Jump Square, or rather in Jump Square now, because before Rurouni Kenshin was in Weekly Shonen Jump. But anyway, the point is, the series is back. It's got a brand new arc, the Hokkaido arc, and it is back in full effect. And it warms my heart, man. It's so dope to see Rurouni Kenshin back, and that's why I say it has a better chance than Shaman King and Hakusho, because it's relevant again, it's current, it's ongoing once more, and it's way too early in the game to speculate a game, but it is a possibility later on down the line, because it's only just now beginning, right? It's only just now getting off its feet, or on its feet rather. But the thing is, like, if this series is as popular, anywhere near as popular now with this new arc as it was back in the day, I could see a Rurouni Kenshin remake for the anime or a reboot. I could see, you know, a new game, a movie. I mean, there's tons of possibilities. And like I said, it's way too early to speculate it. But this has always been a dream of mine, to see a really cool Rurouni Kenshin game. Not to mention that I think this little box art that I designed for it is pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of feeling myself on this one. I mean, but that's neither here nor there. The point is, Rurouni Kenshin, really dope series, a lot of amazing swordsmen in the series with really crazy techniques. Kenshin is one of the illest characters in all of anime and manga, one of my favorite protagonists, if not my favorite protagonist, and I just think it would be so sick to see. I mean, you got Makoto Shishio, you got Hajime Saito, you got Sojiro, you got Anishi, you got Kenshin himself, of course, Yahiko, Sanosuke. It's just another series with amazing cast, all that are pretty tough and rough in their own way, that could all handle their own in a fight, and it just would be so sick to see. And of course, seeing the Shinsengumi all together, seeing, you know, the Oniwaban group all together, the possibilities are crazy. The roster for a Rurouni Kenshin game could be crazy. You know what made me want this even more? Because as a Rurouni Kenshin fan, because being that this is, you know, my #1 favorite manga of all time, for those who didn't know, I've always wanted to see like a modern Rurouni Kenshin game, although I never thought it would happen. However, shout out to my homie Ham, he actually showed me this Rurouni Kenshin Mugen that just like blew me away. I've never really played moving games. I mean, I've dabbled here and there in the past, although I've never really had a computer that could really handle those or run them like that, so I didn't really play them too much. And even now, I still don't have a computer that can do that. However, we found a watered down version that I could actually handle on my PC, and let me tell you something. I was blown back, man. The attention to detail, just the consistency and the loyalty to the actual anime and the manga when it comes to the techniques that these characters utilize, it just made me want the game all the more. And I was just like, I gotta do something. I don't know, man. I don't know. So again, not a high chance at all, very unlikely, especially from now, but you know, its chances could increase in the future, and maybe later on down the line, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, maybe we'll see a Rurouni Kenshin game. Again, won't get my hopes up. All I'm saying is, I'm putting it out there into the universe. I want it, let it be known. Maybe it'll happen, probably not, but hey, a boy can dream. Coming in at the number 2 spot, we have Hunter x Hunter. Now, I know. Lotus, you just said how much you like Yu Yu Hakusho more than Hunter x Hunter. I know, but remember what I said at the beginning of this video. It's not in order of what I want the most to what I want the least, or vice versa. It's in order of what I think has the least chance to what I think has the greatest chance. And I just feel like Hunter x Hunter has a greater chance than Hakusho or any of the other previous 3 series of getting a game because it's more relevant and more current. Hunter x Hunter is still an ongoing series. Granted, it's currently back on hiatus, but that's to be expected. I honestly think Togashi just has this deal worked out where he comes back for 10 chapters and then leaves again, because that's honestly what it just seems like, but whatever. Hunter x Hunter, the anime is on Toonami. It's a very popular and well-received anime. The manga is still ongoing. It's still making good sales. So I just feel like out of those 3 series that I've named so far, it just has a better chance, and that's why it's number 2 on this list. And again, Hunter x Hunter is one of those series that just has an amazing cast of characters. Gon, Killua, Hisoka, Chrollo. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. You got the Phantom Troop, you've got Kurapika and Lorio. There's just all these really cool characters with amazing unique abilities, because Nen is one of the most unique and versatile abilities that I have seen in a shonen battle series, or any series for that matter. So just the possibilities for different combos and special attacks and supers that you could do in a Hunter x Hunter fighting game would just be so sick. And I know my homie Rhymestyle, for one, would definitely advocate that, would definitely promote it and play the hell out of it if we ever got a modern day Hunter x Hunter game on console. And I just know that I'm not the only one who wants that. So again, putting it out there in the universe, I think it has a better chance than the previous 3, although not the greatest chance in the world. Definitely not as good a chance as what I have at the number 1 spot, which I'm sure most of you already know what it is by now. But yeah, man, I don't feel like I really need to talk about Hunter x Hunter too much because the video is already getting longer than I really wanted it to be, because I've spent more time talking about the other series that personally mean more to me than Hunter x Hunter does. Even though, don't get me wrong, I think Hunter x Hunter is an amazing series. I like it a lot. I don't feel as passionately about it as I do about the previous 3 series that I mentioned, because I like them more. But hey, put down the torches and pitchforks. Just my opinion, okay? Okay, cool. Moving on to number 1. Coming in at number 1, we have My Hero Academia. Boku no Hero Academia. Yes, little old Izuku Midoriya has worked his little ass off in Shonen Jump, and he's trailing behind One Piece and Luffy, because we know that One Piece will never be top no matter what, because it is just going to be reign supreme until the end of time, because it's the greatest, best-selling, most popular manga ever. But it is what it is. The point remains that out of all the series that I have listed here today, I feel like My Hero Academia has the greatest chance, and honestly is the most deserving of a good game. Now, I feel like it has already gotten, I think, a couple of games that were on the 3DS, Nintendo DS, whatever, and even a few mobile games, but I don't think any of them really did too well. And that's just because they weren't really all that good. But I feel like if done right, that being the key word, the key phrase, if done right, My Hero Academia could be incredible. It could be amazing. Because, I mean, you have this awesome cast of characters. So, a lot of characters, mind you. A lot of them are really unique. Much in the same way of Hunter x Hunter, where everybody has their own unique ability that applies only to them. Where you have characters like Todoroki, who has the half cold and half hot. You have like Izuku Midoriya, who has the one for all. You have Bakugo with his explosion quirk, and then you have Tsuyu, who's a frog. And you have Ochako with a gravity quirk, and Tenya with his engine. It's just there's a lot of different abilities, and it just would be really cool to see if My Hero Academia ever got a game. And it wouldn't surprise me if one is actually in the works, but I also don't want to believe that one is in the works, because I don't want to get hopes up for something like that. But you know, if someday in the near future we got an announcement and I was like, yo, Boku no Hero is getting a new game, I'd be like, haha, yes, it's about bloody time. And I don't know why I'd suddenly turn British and use the word bloody as but whatever, it doesn't matter. The point is, My Hero Academia, a lot of potential for a great game, and I want to see it happen. I don't know about you guys. Actually, I do know about you guys. You guys want to see it happen just as much as I want to see it happen. And you already know I'm calling dibs on Todoroki if we ever do see it, because that's the illest character in the series, and I will be the best Todoroki main in the world. You feel me? Yeah. with all that being said, that's pretty much going to go ahead and wrap up this list. That is my top 5. Like I said before, this is just my personal opinion. If you have your own top 5, feel free to leave it in the comments down below, or better yet, even make your own video, and we can have a good little discussion going. Because like I said, I haven't seen every anime in the world. These are just the ones that I know and love and mean the most to me, that I think would be really cool to see. #bars. But yeah, leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Hit this video with a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't already, so you can stay tuned for all the awesome content I plan on bringing you. And with all that being said, remember, nothing can happen to you, swing the bat. Later.